There's a very fine line between brave and stupid. Okay, that fine line you cross, you die. That could be fatal. So you want to be nice, but Mr. Nice also on the mountain cannot save life. Oh my God, yeah, well, you got frostbite, you got to cut your fingers, and if you're on 1,000 meters, you probably could not even come down because you cannot use your fingers. You need to be able to perform when no one is watching and still give 100%. I didn't only give up my career in the Special Forces. I rejected the best offer that no one can reject. I emptied all my savings and I put everything on the line to raise the name of the Nepalese climbers, and also to show the world that doesn't matter what your background is, doesn't matter where you come from, you can literally, prove that nothing is impossible. I think everything I do, I have always something in my mind, and but I don't say it until I do it most of the time. I'm Nimsdai. I was born in Nepal in a very humbling family. I was raised in the Gurkhas and made in UK Special Forces, plus all these world records. I'm the founder of and the CEO of the Elite Expert and the Expert Leader. So what we do is we help people achieve their new possible. We have now more than 100 of people who, when first joined us, had no clue about mountaineering, and they started with us from Kilimanjaro or either Aconcagua, and 100 plus of them have now summited Everest. Some of them have done 14 peaks. Not only that, through Elite Expert, we have given the opportunity to some of the team members, the Sherpas, and also some of them have completed the 14 peaks. People, when they see it, they will like, wow, right? But they don't know what it took me to get to that position. So many things, people look at social media and they probably say, yeah, Nims had got this much following, he's very successful, he does what he says and all that, but it's always hard to be on the top, because literally people are there to take you down, and most of the people who wants to take you down are, unfortunately, the people 95% of they are your friends, so yeah, because I also know how many changes in terms of life, how many positive impact I have made in people's life. I literally get messages from people who are about to kill themselves, to people who are struggling in the hospital, to everything, and each message, it means something. I never, ever even knew what mountaineering is or what climbing is, okay? As I grew up, all I wanted to be was the Gurkha in the British Army. And I studied, of course, in the book, general knowledge book, that the first person to climb Everest is, Tenzing Norgay Sherpa and Edmund Hillary. And it's same thing like, the capital of England is London, or, you're reading that, So I never understand what that meant in reference to Everest. And so this was not until I was 30-year-old. So at this point, I was in the Special Forces with the SBS. I was traveling different part of the world in mission or, critical exercises. And then when the people see me, all my friends are like, white, relatively 6 foot tall and all that. And they see like this brown guy, hanging around with all these people. So they would say, hey, where are you from? And I say, I'm from Nepal. And guys, believe me, some people don't know where Nepal is. So they're like, where it is, Then I say, well, do you know Mount Everest? And they're like, yeah, we know Mount Everest. And they said, have you climbed it? I said, no. And they said, have you seen it? I said, no. And after saying no to 3 people, I was embarrassed, actually. So I was like, Jesus, I need to go and, at least trek to base camp. And after that, I can say, yeah, I have seen Everest, So yeah, I started my first ever trek at the age of 30, and that changed everything. So guys, it's never too late to start anything new in life. I grew up in the most flat and the warmest part of Nepal, Chitwan, where the one-horned rhinos and tigers and elephants are Gurkhas. Wow, it is everything for me, I guess. I grew up, seeing my father, my both brothers were in the Gurkhas as well. But more than that, we are known for the most fearful soldier in the planet. They say if somebody is saying that he's not afraid, either he's lying or he's a Gurkha. And we also have some of the I don't know what's the word in English because it's my second language. Probably the most proud and something that you take into the chest. The Field Marshal quoted, we never had any loyal and bravest friend, as like a Gurkha. That comes from the World War. So we are known for loyalty, bravery, and integrity. And so yeah, and then we are the only country in the world that's not part of the Commonwealth, but still, can join the British Army. And the history goes long way more than 200 years. The training, just to let you know, at my point, when I applied for the selection, there were 33,000 people aged between 18 and 21 applying for it. And there was a vacancy for only 330 people. So you do the maths, I first look, when I joined the Gurkhas, I didn't knew that, there was such things called, SAS, SBS, Special Forces and all that. So by the end of the training phase, I started, knowing about them. And it was just like, guys, do you know, God, they are like, Special Forces, they are like James Bond. But it's just like a figure or, that you don't see, but you just talk about it. And for me, I was always taught by my Gurkha instructor that we are the most, fittest and bravest soldier in the world. And I believe in that. And I'll remind me to answer your question, but I will get into this something, So I was the fastest in my platoon, in the company. So I would go for a competition run with my platoon for 6-miler. I will do that in 29 minutes. I come back, finish it, and I go and run with the second platoon, another platoon, completely new platoon, and I will still beat all of them. So that's me, So I used to take so much pride. So then I was selected from the regiment to go and represent, and this is when I went and it's only half-miler, ran, and I was like, I have been told, this is how naive I am, I was told that you are the best and you are the fittest soldier in the planet. So, and I see someone in front of me, and I'm like, how is this possible? And this guy is from Kenya, double the size, and they are like going. And I was like, Jesus, how this is wrong, So I remember, and I ran so hard that I could not even breathe. Because I believe what my instructor was saying. I'm just 18-year-old kid, and I'm just been trained to believe what they're saying, So like this way, I could not, yes, I still managed to do in, hour and 18 minutes. Came third, but nowhere near to this guy. Then that's when I went and I had to kind of start thinking everything about myself. I was like, Nims, come on, have a common sense. If the Gurkhas, if we as a Nepalese were the best in the fitness, then we should have won all the Olympic, But then I understand what they mean by is average fitness. Average fitness, like for example, 330 coming to the training for the Gurkhas, 100% pass it, and you don't have that ratio in anywhere else. So anyway, to answer your question, as you can see, I'm a very proud Gurkha, right? Then I noticed, if we are the best, why there's no one in the SBS, And the second thing, of course, heard about, when you're in SF, you can grow your hair, you just go and do things, like the James Bond and all that, and also, yeah, that's kind of an start I hearing, and I'll tell you, when I heard about it, after then I started obviously growing up. This is my 6 years point within the Gurkhas. I went to Afghanistan and I started working with the Royal Marines, because the SBS is majority part of the SBS, recruitment comes from the Royal Marines Commando. And when I saw them, they were such a fit lads, but very humble. And I was like, okay, and then the guy said, Nims, if you go to SBS, you need to be good at swimming, blah, blah, and then there's extra. And I said, okay, anyway, fine. And then when I first went to my platoon commander, which is British, I said, hey, I would like to go for the selection. And you know what he said to me? He said to me, Nims, do you know what? Some of the best instructor from the regiment have gone for the selection, they haven't passed it. They are like the flyer with everything, you know, from the promotion to everything. You know, you can't do that. And I said, yes, I can do it. And then he said something that really hurt me. He said, Nims, you know, it's not only about fitness. You need this. And, you know, straight away I said it. You know what, sir? I'm going one way. Either I pass the selection. If I don't, I'm going to resign from the British Army. And that's a big thing for me to say. And maybe, you know, maybe I challenge the authorities or whatever. Normally they give you like 6 months to train if you say you go to special forces, because it's such a big thing. You know, I wasn't given any time off to train. So everything I was training was during my off-peak. And yeah, I passed it. Very tough. I still remember, and many of my special forces would not even believe it probably, because, you know, we come from completely different environment, but people who have seen me training that, they know, you know. So I used to wake up really early in the morning, sometimes 3 a.m. Then I carry, you know, 75 to 80 pound backpack. I run 20 kilometers to the military barracks. Then I go, I have a breakfast, then I do whatever that day's routine is, physical training. I compete with my colleagues, you know. I'm a very competitive guy, so I compete. I have to be at the front, I have to be first. I do whatever that physical training is, 6 milers, 8 milers, sometimes assault course, whatever it is. Then the whole day was, you know, pretty much the military work. And then in the evening, I would just run clean fatigue. That means I would leave my Bergen there. I run back to the home, quick dinner, go to the gym, cycle 65 kilometers in the push bike, then to the swimming, because I wanted to get into the SBS, and I do front crawl. You know, imagine, you know, for front crawl for this land guy who came from landlocked country who doesn't know swimming, and also, but I was going full on, and I used to do 100 times non-stop, and I trained like that so next day, again in the morning, I don't need to carry my backpack because it's in the barracks, so I run, clean fatigue, do everything again. In the evening, I carry the backpack, come back to home. So it was like that, you know. So I trained like that for 6 months, 6 days a week. I never say, today, you know, I'm tired. If I'm tired, I wake up 1 hour early because I have to be in time in the military camp, you know. But I never made an excuse. I could have made hundreds of excuses, you know. I could have said, okay, today there's a snow, you know, it's health and safety, blah, 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 you know. Today, you know, my joint and my legs are not giving, you know, I can make that, but I never made it. I just went on and on and on, because I believe that when I go for the fitness aspect of the thing, it has to be in my pocket. I don't need to worry about passing whatever that physical test is. I just need to be able to think clearly when I have to make mission critical decision, and so that I am good enough to be part of the elite member. So, yeah. And the hardest part, you know, they say you have to be a grey man in the selection, and I couldn't be, because how can I be a grey man? Jesus, I'm brown, you know, Gurkha, you can pick me from miles away. So whatever mistake I make, you know, you kind of easily pick up. And then the DS, you know, they used to like bring me, and then they say, hey, you know, they will ask me a question. And when I answer the question, they would say, speak English. I wanted to kill them, but it was, you know, it's all. Throughout the whole 6 months, I was never told that I have done any good. Every day was, you are the worst soldier in the planet, you cannot make it, you are just a number. 6 months. And it makes sense now, you know, you go into this kind of operations, and if you need always somebody tapping in your shoulder, yeah man, you're doing good, you need always that kind of, you know, you are not good enough to be in the special forces. Because you always need some validation from somebody else. You need to be able to perform when no one is watching and still give 100%. And I understand the bigger picture. We are, you know, in terms of the group and teamwork, there's no one in the world. That's why we win best of the best competition, like Cameron Patrol and everything. It's always the Gurkhas come first, because as an average, we are a machine. As an individual, yes, you know, maybe some people will beat us, many people, but as a team, nothing. No one can beat us, because we operate like that. Mindset, you know, you are in this closed compound, this environment where, you know, you've been trained for 11 months, and, you know, it's making you believe that, you know. So, and you join the Gurkhas at the age of 18, like for me, like as I said, I was so like, you know, I just believed what my instructor was saying. You know, I had some amazing friends and some bitter. That's in life, everywhere. So, but you just need to adapt and work. Everything what I have done, I do 100%. And I didn't retire. I quit my job. I give up my pension, everything. The next one was to raise the name of the Nepalese climbers, and also to show the world that doesn't matter what your background is, doesn't matter where you come from, you can literally, prove that nothing is impossible. So then that belief was hand in hand, in parallel, and I believe it. You just need to believe it. Some people come with fake title for sponsorship and all that. That doesn't work, because it's not. You need to believe to the core, to the bone of whatever you believe is. Then only you can do the magical thing. And for me, the purpose was bigger than me. This was 2017. I was one of the instructors for the Gurkha expedition, the military expedition on Everest. And that season, the official team couldn't set the fixed lines to the top. So normally on Everest and seasons, there is an official team of 10 to 12 Sherpas. They go and fix the lines, then the rest of the climbers go and summit. So this is when I was still in Special Forces. So that season is quite deep, okay, let me get into this politics of everything. So I was the fittest guy in the team from the Gurkhas, and I was instructor. And when the British officer put the name of the summit team, I wasn't in there. It was full of British officers, British counterparts, and one very junior Gurkha soldier who cannot even say a word in English improperly. I realized the tactics, and I said, okay, this is not fair, because I had an argument, and I stormed out of the tent. I still remember, you know what? Okay, do as you want. And then they thought the official team will go and fix the lines, and they can go and jump at the back of the lines, put the hand jumar and do that. But by luck or but whatever it is, the official team couldn't set the fixed lines. And what does it means to me as an individual? So for me, when I come back to UK, I don't want my friends to be saying that, Nims, Gurkha, mate, Everest is in your backyard, you don't even climb that, They would say that, of course. But in serious case, it was a huge reputational risk for the brigade of Gurkhas. Imagine you are the most fittest, the most bravest, whatever that country from Nepal, and you cannot even climb Everest. What does people gonna make out of it? So that's when I step up to lead the fixing team. Managed to set the fixed lines to the top. Then only open the lines for our team only, for the rest of the mountaineers. After that, I came to Kathmandu. I partied wild for 7 days. I couldn't drink anymore. Then I went and then I climbed Everest, Lhotse and Makalu in 5 days. And in between that, I had 2 days of partying at Namche Bazaar, break. And then when I climbed Makalu, I got back to base camp. And the helicopter was supposed to come and pick me. It's full on endurance, okay? And the helicopter couldn't come because of the weather. So I said, you know what? Fuck that, I'm gonna run. So I get my team. So we have no rest, coming to base camp, so we pack up, jack up, and started running throughout the whole day and night. And only one team member could make me at the end. And the route of the Makalu is not like Everest, it's like up and down, doesn't matter what, it's a 6 days worth of a trek. So next morning I was in this road head and I was still fresh. So I was like, oh, maybe I could do more. So that's when I get the idea, but the whole concept, it goes back, I started figuring out a lot of Western climbers have summited Everest and climbed Everest or whatever it is, but the Sherpas, the climbing community who actually does the hard work, has always been in the shadows, and that wasn't fair. Today when people ask me, Nims, what is your mission? My mission statement is I want to be fair on people. Doesn't matter what ethics, what country, what background, what they come from. I want to be fair on people because I know how it is to be on the other side of the road. A lot of things here, You can write, God knows, if you go through the life story, 12 books. I never trained for mountain, buddy, until I went to K2 Winter. My belief is I'm one of the fittest Gurkha soldiers in this planet. I pass all the Special Forces selection. I'm not nif-naf, I do half marathon in an hour and 18 minutes, it's still good timing. So, and I can move with the weights. And of course, my physical or how my body is doesn't allow me to be number one in the world, let's say in running or whatever it is, but my speed at mountain I don't lose it. This whole thing, 14 peaks, you are climbing 14 mountains, you are fixing the lines, the weather is coming like howling, then there comes the rescue, and then there's one where like, yeah, many aspects, the fundraising part, a lot, it's a lot to squeeze that in one thing. Everybody trying to take me down. Yeah, because I came from pretty much from no one literally knowing to like this Nimsdai, showing the world that nothing is impossible. Then if I've just done the records and just stay as a professional athlete, I wouldn't have any drama. But then I turned that into business. So Elite Expert, started taking, billionaires, millionaires as a VIP clients, and I offset many business, people who have been, in that industry for 2-3 decades or whatever it is. And also, I challenge the authority in many occasions as well. Many things, with success, many things comes in. And the first thing, when the 14 Peaks came out, straight away it was the Western climbers who started criticizing it, like, oh, it's good, but it's not pure form because, he used oxygen and all that. So I started saying, whoa, wow. And the list goes on, And because I think, as I said, entrepreneurship is in my DNA. So from there, we started launching the skydiving company. There was only one company who used to do that. And we came in, but the other company owners, they are operating from, their home. But I jumped myself. So people would like to jump with me, not, someone who, they don't know or who sat at home and was just a purely businessman. So we started taking over that, and then kind of, it goes into even with the clothing as well. You launch the clothing brand, that when people really look into stuff we're doing, we are number one. We are number one. Nobody does like what we do. We use the best fabric, right? And it is from scratch to every the end product. I'm there from designing to testing with myself, my team, because my team, who are at the top elite level, they also need to say it's good, not only me saying it. So then it comes, and then boom, and then the Elite Expert clients are wearing it. So I multiply everything than the normal entrepreneur, because I have the link with his business. Then at one point I found out at the base camp where all the competitors were saying that now Nims has got all these VIP clients, let's don't give him a helicopter. Let's see how he's going to run these things, So when I heard that, then I had to go and buy the helicopter company, and then they started flying fall, and I had to sustain this, because there's a thing called AOC, more technical part. And people who are in that industry were so influential within the things, then, I had to basically, sustain this company for a year. Or running cost for each month is 60 grand. Now it's full and running and all that. So from all that level, even when I go to America and all these things, and I think I made people very insecure. And I climb, I climb Everest Lhotse Makalu in 36 hours. And I climb Nanga Parbat G1, G2, Broad Peak, K2 while leading more than a dozen of clients without oxygen. I can climb that while I'm leading in 26 days without oxygen. So I think I make people very insecure. And also, I come from the special forces background, and what I have is many of this entrepreneurial business don't have it. And when you are so yeah, it came with so many things at different level. But on the positive side, I have been able to change so many people's life, where it matters the most. Like, for example, 2012, my first trek to Everest Base Camp, my porters were not allowed to stay in the hotel, in the lodge. This is low budget we're talking about at the elevation. That's that's more than anything else. It's a humiliation, you know, it's disrespect. So when I was in the Gurkhas, 1,300 pounds a month doesn't justify me to give my life like that. I can give my life like nobody else for the country, for the Brigade of Gurkhas. If my commander said, Nims, you know, there is an enemy bunker on that hill, go and take over. I go fearless. I will go a charge alone if whatever they say. The command is, you know, everything for me. This is me. But I did not do that because of they are paying me 1,300 or I do that for who I am as a Brigade of Gurkhas. That's what I represent. So going back into the porters, yes, they could be the least paid person in the world, but people need respect. Imagine you say, okay, you know, you cannot stay here and there's no place to live. That really got me. And until now, fast moving forward, let's do the maths, 2012, 2022 is 10 years. 13 years afterwards, you know, we built a porter house with a fund of over $500,000, which looks like a 5-star hotel. People even complain that, and that's what we do. You know, that's there. You know, I have no any desire. You know, even when I put everything on the line, everybody can talk for 14 picks. Let's go. I didn't only give up my career in the special forces. I rejected the best offer that no one can reject. SES, give me this offer. I rejected that because of who I am. Moving from there, I put my house on the, you know, on the line. I emptied all my saving. Now let's go into the family part. What my brothers, you know, who's like my father, they're thinking. He didn't talk to me for 6 months. He's like, you know, he's like my parents. He sent me to this school. What about my wife? You know, I put everything on the line. I'm that person. I don't have big desire. I don't have it, but I want it to be fair. Nowadays, okay, people say, Nims, you know, why are you charging so much for your talk when you the corporate talk? Well, because if they can pay that amount to somebody who is my equivalent, why they can pay me just because I'm brown or I'm a Gurkha or I'm from Nepal? No, I just want the fairness. It's not about money. Money.
Did you feel that?
Because before I wasn't successful enough. So that's why you don't know. When you make that threshold, whatever that breaking point is, let's see the money. What money does now. How many evil things are happening in this world just because of money and power? I think people should be able to relate that. Yes, difficulties. It's next level, you know, and I think if I wasn't who I am, you know, person who lives with a purpose and all that, yeah, when people try to break my records. They send, you know, everybody, even from the Sherpas to base everything and all that. They play everything. And, you know, when people try to come in and question your integrity and try to strip off you for what it matters the most, it gets you. It gets you. Difficulties, you know, being betrayed by your friends. You know, I can never do this. People will come drink with me and just party with me and just say, Nims, you know, I heard about this, you know, with the government, you know, and then they were the person to send this guy to go and complain and all that. And how can you be so much a snake, my God? If I don't like you, I say I don't like you. I can just, yeah, I can't do this, bro. I can't. Maybe now I learn a bit from all these things. And everything that you do in life, if it's not about you and you go into the larger scale, it comes with sacrifice. It does. There's nothing such as balance and all that. You name any of these people who have made the lives, they all have sacrifice. From the family to their own maybe life or whatever it is. Maybe relaxing, whatever you call the word or whatever it is. There is a huge level of sacrifice at many levels. You cannot be Mr. Nice. You know, when I run 5, 6, I don't know how many business, but yeah, as a boss, you know, I have certain standard. I come from the special forces background. I say how it is, and sometimes it's also tough because you want to be nice, but Mr. Nice also on the mountain cannot save life. You could be the most nice person like this, but you know, that person is dead because, you know, you cannot say, you know, just maybe you think you're going to lose the business or what, you know. Sometimes people, okay, there's a very fine line between brave and stupid. Okay, that fine line you cross, you die. That could be fatal. but also, you know, people not really being honest to themselves about their true abilities and capabilities, and kind of, you know, committing, thinking that they could do it rather than knowing that, yes, I can make it. It's a very, very, like, you know, it's a very thin line, you know. So that's when the bigger issues comes in. And of course, you got to believe in the team and all that. Sometimes people just go on the mountain, yeah, if something happened to me here, my team gonna save me. Or, you know, they're expecting already things, you know. And also some ill preparation. And some people don't understand the severity of the expedition. Like, for example, I had, like, currently on Antarctica, I had 3 girls, really beautiful girls, and they were the only girl in the whole of the expedition, 5-6 teams. And I asked my clients to say, can you please cover your face? Because if you don't, then that's going to go frostbite. I keep saying, guys, can you please close it? And I have to stop every 30 minutes when I'm navigating, when I'm to come back and check. Can you? But some people would not understand the severity of it, you know. And that's only here I'm talking about, you know. Then it goes to their hands. People would operate taking their gloves and, oh my God, yeah, well, you get frostbite, you got to cut your fingers. And if you're on 8,000 meters, you probably could not even come down because you cannot use your fingers. You know, so sometimes people don't understand how things could escalate. Like, for example, okay, max goggles. You need to have them, both conditions. If it's sunny, if it's windy and all that, yeah. If you have the goggles, let me give my own example, K2 winter. I have these goggles, and every breathing is like deliberate, every breathing, every second. Okay, if you just don't stay self-disciplined and you just breathe from either your nose, your goggles gonna get steam. Now you see. You probably say, oh, your goggles is steam cleaning. No, you can't. You take the goggles out, by the time you get out, it's frozen. Yeah? Now you put the frozen goggles, you cannot see anything. Okay, now for some people, if you don't see, you wanted to take the goggles out, then you get snow blindness. You cannot see anything, and you're gonna die. Does people understand that level of discipline you need? I don't think nobody gets that. Honesty, through and through, honesty on your ability. For the first time, I still remember, you know, because everybody says, oh, as soon as you summit, you need to come down because you're going to die and all these things, right? So I was like, hey, take pictures. I go. So, you know, first time was, you know, nothing. But the second time when I went with the Gurkhas, I was like, wow, that was the best summit ever because the weather was so perfect, everything. And I was confident at this time. So I was getting my oxygen max out. I stayed there for 2 hours without oxygen and just like, you know. But people, I was here, first one, and I don't even know. It's amazing, you know, it's beautiful when you climb with equal versus, you know, it's of course, you know, there's no price tag for that. But nowadays, you know, for me, I'm thinking about what my guys are doing, what my other clients are doing. So there's a lot in my head when I summit.
4 days have passed, but Kamla Casey's tears have not stopped. Ever since reports emerged on social media that her younger brother, legendary mountaineer Nirmal Purja, was among the 10 climbers who went missing on Pakistan's Broad Peak, disbelief gave way to grief. Every day since then, she has walked to the ruins of their ancestral home where memories of a childhood spent playing together now echo through the silence. The Tita village in Annapurna Rural Municipality 3, Dana of Myagdi, is mourning his loss. All of Nirmal's relatives, childhood friends and neighbors have fallen silent.
जिद्दी थियो उले भनेको कुरा हुनै पर्थ्यो उले मुखबाट बोल्यो भने उलाई त्यो कुरा पूरा हुनै पर्ने अय यसो नगर्ने बाबु यसो भनेको मान्ने थिएन उले पूरा गरेरै छोड्ने उयो यता पहाडतिर जानु पर्यो भने नजा बाबु लोटिन्छ भने गएरै छोड्ने उकालो चढेरै छोड्ने त्यस्तो थियो अनि उले गंगाटाहरू खोज्थ्यो सानोमा गंगाटाहरू खोज्ने त्यो के भन्छ एउटा किरा हुन्छ माउरी जस्तो त्यस्तो खोज्ने झिमरी यसलाई खोज्ने हैन बाबु टोक्छ भने मुख त्यो उसको के भन्छ त्यो पोलाहरू हुन्छ नि त्यो देख्यो भने मुक्कीले हान्न जाने अनि टोक्छ नि
A banner reading Mountaineer Nirmal Purja felicitation ceremony still hangs on Kamla's house, commemorating his public honor in Beni on March 6, 2025 for his mountaineering world records. Despite his busy expedition schedule, Purja often visited Dana by helicopter while travelling between Dholagiri and Annapurna and continued to visit the village with his brothers, according to his friend Ramesh Purja, Ward Chair of Annapurna Rural Municipality 3.
एक दिन हामीले शोक मनाउने भनेर गाउँपालिकाले पनि सार्वजनिक बिदा घोषणा गरेको छ र साथै अध्यक्षज्यूले उक्त घोषणामा यो उहाँको चाहिँ एउटा स्तम्भ मूर्ति बनाउने भन्ने पनि चाहिँ पत्रमा लेख्नु भएको छ.
The ground rescue team had reached Purja's body at an altitude of about 5,700 meters along with 3 other climbers, which have been brought to Camp 1, the Alpine Club Pakistan announced.